let's go over a team structure. So like as an agent starts getting in production, what percentages of the age or the gross income should go to marketing? What percentages should go to administrative help? What percentage should go to other areas in the business? How should that be structured? And what are the profit margins of a really high producing real estate team? What should they look like depending on where they're at?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I'll preface my answer saying this. You know, in real estate, we tend to look at the folks that are selling a lot of homes, specifically teams. I have looked at the financials of so many top teams in all areas of the country to know that 8 times out of 10, it's a complete farce. Yeah. Meaning that they may have a $3 or $4 million business. They may have 750 to 800,000 of profit, but they're selling 700,000 of GCI themselves. So yeah. They built this business that's not even profitable. So the cool thing about the economic model that we prescribe is that it scales as you scale. Mm-hmm. So maybe not in stage one. Like in stage one, when you're under 100,000, you just need to hustle. Like you're not hustling. Hustle more. Like just get over the hump. Like that's 10 transactions, 10, 12 transactions. Outside of that, though, before you start to consider stepping out of production, it's 10%, 10%, and typically not 10% on overhead, but 10% on an administrator. So if you're doing 250,000, you need to start thinking, and you're doing 250,000, but you want to go to 500,000 and have a better quality of life and take home more money. Who doesn't want to do that, right? So you have to spend $25,000 on an administrator. That's typically 25 hours a week, right? So it's part-time. You should be spending $25,000, 10% on lead generation, probably your database, probably an expired or FSBO program, maybe some technology around that, you know, RedX or something like that, or you know, whatever you do. And then 10% on overhead, but typically, you know, you may not be spending that. That could include, you know, what you're paying your broker, or, you know, if you're leasing a space or a desk space or stuff like that. That's the model. So on, you know, let's say 250,000, there's probably 175 to 200,000 of pre-tax take home, pre-broker. So it depends on what deal you have with your broker, but that's if you're looking to scale it. So yeah, could you do 250,000 and not have an administrator and just work 25 hours extra a week? You totally could do that. Could you, you know, not investing in client, you know, appreciation or those sorts of things? Yeah, you could, but you have to apply the discipline to do it. And that scales. So as you add people, let's say you add sales agents, the value-based commission split structure is key. Ultimately, only about a third, let's say you're fully out of production, only about a third of your GCI is going to go to pay all of your salespeople, including showing agents, inside sales, outside sales, and even your broker. We put the brokerage up above the line. And then a third goes to pay roughly those 3 buckets: administration, marketing, and overhead. And a third will drop to the bottom line. So a $3 million business, I haven't gotten the Red Book model to work. I don't think anyone can do 2.4 in net one. I've never seen it ever because that's 7th level. So the Red Book is Millionaire Real Estate Agent. I read it 12 times or listened to it when I first got into real estate. So I don't get the 2.4 to net $1 million. It doesn't work. The math doesn't work. 3 million to net $1 million is what I've seen pretty consistently. We've taken members from 500,000 to 3 million where they're netting over $1 million using the right economic model. And then, you know, you have to have accountability around the marketing dollars and the people you bring on. That's another missing link, is that these marginally profitable teams, you know, we had a member at 5 million GCI. When you took out his production, single digit profit, you know, selling 500 homes, you know, and just didn't have the disciplines or didn't know the economic model. Mm-hmm. That's a big business. And there are some strengths that team leader has that are world-class and can build a business like that. The good thing is that we were able to shed about 10, 12% within 12 to 18 months and bring that business into almost a 20% profit business and take his production down. But it does come from a discipline in the economic model. And I don't care what your economic model is, you need to have one. Because 3 years from now, when you hit your top line goals, you better believe, well, you better have thought about it 3 years earlier, because you can't just end up, with a bunch of agents, no accountability around what they're doing with, lead sources. You run this loose business. Loose businesses are not going to be worth owning. We don't want you to scale and own something. I'd rather you have a small business and that's super profitable, really tight, than, twice the size.